My name is Jake Ritzdorf. This is my reading resources assignment. I'm using Screencastify as a video resource. It's pretty easy to use. The article I picked was from NEA Today, and it's about BYOD, bring your own device, in schools. And the article kind of takes both stances, but definitely tends to favor the positive aspects as long as certain steps are taken. At the beginning, it talks about how schools went from a can't use, we don't want to use, we shouldn't use, it's a distraction for students, put them away, into how classrooms are now evolving. It's changing to the idea that bring your own device classrooms have a lot of benefits. How do we do that? It talks about one teacher who flipped her classroom and she loves it. She says there's never never a time there should be idle things happening, because if she's busy, she videotapes all of her lectures so that way she tells her students, well, rewatch this part of the lecture and it should explain it to you. Also, they're able to do, she says students always have their phones with them even when they're at home. And if I put their homework on their phone, then they should be able to have access to it. So goes on to talk about how it saves money, increases one-to-one contact if you use it in the right instances. And that's what the article really stresses as we get into it. You can't just throw BYOD programs at your teachers and say, go work with it. You have to implement it in the correct way. If you don't, then they're going to fail and it's going to make your teachers look bad. If your teachers aren't comfortable with technology, you need to start with the basics, get them comfortable. You can't just toss them into the fire and say we need to establish a BYOD curriculum, because most teachers never had that when they were at school. So when they went to college, most of them didn't even have that opportunity. So you need to be able to implement it in the right way. A couple hazards they do discuss. Cyberbullying will probably increase. Just to the fact that if every student has a device or a phone, you're not going to be able to have a teacher watching each student at all times. So things like that do happen. Also, you might run into students who don't have their own devices. What are you going to implement for them? You can't just not let them do it. And the main thing is that as we continue to evolve into bring your own device classrooms, we're going to have to evolve as teachers. It's becoming more and more acceptable, and more curriculums are establishing BYOD, and your district needs to have the proper policies and rules in place before you go to that. It's not just a program, an end all that says, hey, we're going to do this, it's going to cut costs and it's going to work, and boom, we're going. It takes time to implement it. So if you're thrown into the fire, it'll fail, but if it's done the right way, it has a lot of positive results, and it's a pretty good article. So that is my summary on it. Hope you enjoyed it.